Hi, Lee here with another video, and what a performance of the lads on Saturday. Just going to chew the fat off Sunderland beating West Ham by 3-0. As I said in my preview, I thought we could win the game. I didn't think it would be like that. Just what a day, man. What a day. It's like a lot of people are saying like Sunderland's finally back and everything like that. It is only just one game. But if you look at it in the grandest scheme of things, it is 3 points off a relegation rival. If you look at it from that point of view, even though it is just game week 1. I'll get on to the game itself in a little bit. It was just, the atmosphere was fantastic. Especially after my end of score. I mean, I haven't heard East chants sang that loudly. As you couldn't hear yourself. If you were listening on the radio, you couldn't hear the reporters, each other. They couldn't hear like the instructions they were getting off their bosses because we were that loud. And you could tell it was just, obviously it's 8 years of just hurt, just exploded into just out there, and just like a nice feel-good factor, really. And as I said in my preview video, we've had more bad times in the last 8 years than we've had good times. We've had a couple of near good times. Well, obviously Alex Neil, and then him leaving, and Mowbray getting us in the playoffs. But it's just, we've just been like shite for the last 6 of the last 8 years, so to speak. And just seeing the team that we put out there yesterday, I mean, you look at, you've got your Granit Xhaka's in there, your £30 million footballers in Diarra. You've got lads who played in League One and Trey Hume playing in the Premier League. You've got lads who were signed to hopefully make some money on, but then you're looking like they're important parts of your teams. Your Dan Ballards. Look, Jensen Seal, I didn't think Jensen Seal had that bad of a game on Saturday until he got took off. He struggled a little bit with Jared Bowen, but bloody hell, who wouldn't? Like, he was a class above for West Ham, Jared Bowen, especially in the first half. And you've got Mayenda, who, let's be real, he got bombed out of Hibernian 2 seasons ago, and he couldn't get a game for Hibernian. Now he's scoring our first goal back in the Premier League. It just goes to show that everything that like Speakman and KLD have done is warranted after that performance. I mean, the way football is, it wouldn't shock us at all if we can't get beat off Burnley next week. But it just makes everything just like, I wouldn't say worth it, because nothing ever is worth it. But I think as supporters, I mean, you've got other teams thinking they've gone through the mire. And some of them have, like Leeds have been down in League One. So they can understand. But the rest of the teams who cry on, like, obviously, the 2 main ones are Aston Villa and Newcastle, complaining about the PSR thresholds and everything like that. I have said that there is a glass ceiling and no one's allowed to break it when it comes to the Premier League, so I sympathise that way with the pair of them. But you've never gone through any years of hurt, fellas. So stop crying about it. But yeah, so it all makes it worth it in the end. Like, seeing the game yesterday, coming out the game yesterday, it's pretty Monday, Saturday, sorry, and just seeing everyone buzzing, and it was mint. I mean, you've seen times where people have walked off and they're arguing amongst each other after a shite result, but it was just, everyone was just buzzing on Saturday, coming out the ground, going into the ground even before a ball was kicked. Everyone was just buzzing, just delighted that we're finally back in the Premier League. But onto the game itself, I thought the first half we were very cagey a little bit. I don't know if it was me, we give West Ham a little bit too much respect, I don't know. Or just West Ham's experience pushed them on a little bit, but I've obviously, I think Jared Bowen's had that chance inside the first 5 minutes. You're going, oh, it's a different class above this. We were seeing that amongst our lads when we were downstairs having our half-time pints. You can totally tell this is a different class above in the Premier League, and it is one of the teams that meant to be struggling next season. You just, the way the sharp passes, the spins and the turns off players like Jared Bowens. I thought for the first 10 minutes, I thought Paquetá was quite lively, but I didn't really see much of him after that. I thought if they were going to get a goal, West Ham, in that first half an hour period, I thought it would have come from Bowen. But obviously Dan Ballard's made that immense block. But I thought the keeper didn't move because he thought Ballard had it covered, but Roos was nowhere near it, so Ballard's had to make the clearance. But then you could argue Sunderland's arguably had the best chance of the half when Diarra got put through by Mayenda and Hermansen's made a fantastic save. But we held our own enough and we kept them out in the second half. I think we just blew them away. I think he made a tactical tweak where he told his wingers to stay a little bit more wider. in which opened the pitch up a little bit, and our pacing behind just tortured West Ham really. And I think once we got our first goal, West Ham, I think Wankers had said it on Match of the Day. I think West Ham just folded like a stack of cards. They just didn't know what to do. West Ham shit themselves really. Then obviously it didn't take long for us to get our second goal. And even though they brought people on like Wilson and Soucek, I didn't think we were ever going to lose the game once we went 2-0 up. I didn't see enough of West Ham in that second half at all to think they were going to score one goal, never mind two. I know Roos had to make that brilliant save, but the ironic thing is it came off Isidore's back before he's had to save. It didn't I think Wilson's getting nowhere near it, to be honest. I think it just hits Isidore in the back and Roos has had to react and save it. But I'll get on to Robin Roos and my standouts in a minute, because I thought he was fantastic on Saturday. And obviously we broke away and got the winner from Isidore because they would try and get a goal. And I think as soon as he cut inside, when he got inside the penalty box, I was like, he's going to score here. I mean, the keeper hasn't covered himself in glory, really, if you watch the replay. But you can't see after that second half performance, we didn't deserve it. And we just got to make sure we continued on next week against Burnley. And I watched Brentford yesterday and they were shocking. They were absolutely shocking. So if they continue the same way, Sunderland couldn't ask for, it's been said, Sunderland couldn't ask for more 3 beneficial fixtures, really, in West Ham, Burnley and Brentford. And obviously Palace got a good result yesterday against Chelsea, but then you look at Palace after, because we've got them after that, but then will they have Eze, will they have Gay? And you're bringing players in to replace these, and are they going to be better than them? You don't know, so it's a case of a waiting game really for the Palace one. But yeah, so even if we come out with these next 3 fixtures with 5 points, I think it's a brilliant start, and you can't argue with it. I mean, first win, first game of the season. I think it was said after the game, it took October for any of the newly promoted teams to win the first game of the season. And conveniently with Sunderland, it normally takes about October, November time before we get off the mark with a win. We normally start poorly. But just have to make sure we keep it going against Burnley. I mean, they got battered on Saturday off Tottenham, but apparently they were in the game for an hour. I only saw the highlights in Match of the Day. Apparently they were in the game for an hour, so you would think if we can beat a team like West Ham 3-0, you go to Turf Moor, you should be able to get a result against Burnley, no disrespect. I'll put my preview of Thursday, Friday, something like that, and I'll get a bit more into it. My 3 top standouts for Saturday, I thought Dan Bollard was excellent. I thought he was bloody brilliant, defensively and defensively. He was always a target at set pieces for us, and you can notice it when you watch the highlights and you watch the game. He's got 3 men on him all the time from a set piece because you know how dangerous he is. And the convenient thing is when he got his goal, he was against the one person that West Ham wouldn't have wanted him on because it was Lucas Paquetá marking him. And it's an absolute thumping header. Hermanson stood no chance. I think it was beyond him before he even moved. But it was a quality cross from Adingra. And obviously outstanding header from Bollard. But I thought all game he was absolutely excellent. Second one, if you told me, if you're any randomer watching that game and you point at them and go, can you tell us how old that goalkeeper is, mate, for Sunderland, Robin Roos? They would say he was 32, 34 for how confident and calm he is. You wouldn't think he was a 22-year-old boy in his second full season of men's football because he just oozed class. And it sounds silly, but he just did the basics right. And he's just confident in himself, like coming out, punching the ball 20 yards away. There's no disrespect to Anthony Patterson, by the way. Obviously, he's been outstanding served from the football club, taking us up from League One into the Premier League. But Roos is a class above. Any save at the end is a reaction save. I mean, when you're on top in a game, keepers normally, that they could switch off when the other team's on top, but to have the reactions to make that save. And obviously, he's absolutely massive. So obviously, people have said before, when you're going against a goalkeeper who's huge, and you think to yourself, how am I going to score past him? Could that have played into West Ham's mind? But I thought Roos was outstanding. And everything he did it calmly, he did it confidently. I think it was pointing out on something else. He's took a run up to take a goal kick, and I think West Ham have dropped, and he's just played in the right back area for Trey Hume. Just calmly playing the right back area for Trey Hume. That's your class above. That's what type of play you need for the Premier League. And look, we might be getting ourselves over the top, and he could go and drop a clanger next week against Burnley. But it's just reviewing the game as you see it. And my third standout, even though I thought he was a bit quiet in the first half, was Granit Xhaka. Even though I think Diarra and Siddiqui were outstanding, I think the work Xhaka did, especially second half, just went totally unnoticed. I thought it took him about 10 minutes to get into it. I think he's tried to swipe an early at Bourne when he's had that shot that Roof saved and he's missed him completely. But I think after that, he settled himself down. He kept everybody calm. Even when he's got our 2 goals, he's standing there celebrating, and then he's like, right, lads, get back in, get yourselves calmed down. And again, I was pointing out on something else. He's got the ball and he could have played a nice crossfield pass to keep us on the offensive, but he's just passed it short. And as he's passed it short, he's turned and said, just keep it calm, lads. And that's what you need at this level. You need that common figure when you have got people like Diarra and Sadiki who are bombing on them runs all the time. You've got to need someone who's like a nice common presence in midfield. And again, he's a class above of what we've been used to, and he's outstanding. He's an outstanding footballer, and you can see the influence he has on the team straight away. So yeah, your man of the match would have been Dan Pollard. Then you look at like Roofs and Xhaka after that. I thought my ender was really, really good. Everybody was really, really good. Alderete came off, started getting off Stan Varga vibes when he came off the bench. Like see his first touches of Cruyff turning tax 2 West Ham players out the game and passes it off. He just, again, for a kid who's had a week's training with Sunderland and he hasn't had much of a pre-season, he was brilliant as well. And just hope we keep it going. I mean, we've got Burnley next, then Brentford after that. In the middle, like a cup game in the middle, where you'll probably see your fringe players play like your Patrick Roberts and stuff like that. And but yeah, we've got to keep it going. Signed Nordy Mukiele yesterday, which I think is an outstanding signing. I've been after him for a while when there was rumours of the sports cover agents being over. And you look at players who were available. He was one to tick a lot of boxes for me. He's a right back who's equally as good as centre half. He's a French international. Obviously played for PSG, Leipzig, Bayer Leverkusen last year with Xhaka. And it's interesting if you watch the video yesterday when they get introduced, Xhaka goes, oh, you took your time. So it looks like it isn't just a thing where it's just happened in the last week. It looks like it's been in the pipeline for a long period of time. So Sunderland have a lot of things under the radar at the minute with regards to transfers, and there has been for the last, with Sunderland really, was signing players out the blue. And it got said yesterday by Mark Douglas that there's one more close. I have no idea who it is, what position it is, but he said yes, there was one more close. So we'll have to wait and see if that develops over the week. I would think we do need another winger, just to add a little bit of depth. I mean, Enzo came off the bench and played left wing on Saturday. But in that type of game, that's all you need him to do. Just play left wing, just keep it tidy, keep Wan-Bissaka occupied, really. And I thought he did that great on Saturday. Hope you all enjoy the weekend. I'll be back on Thursday. It'll probably be my Burnley preview. Then the Burnley game on Saturday. Then we'll just go again. Just got to keep ticking these points off. And I'm not sure if we do, we'll be fine. Thank you for the engagement, everything like that on the rest of the videos. Please like and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you an out. And hope you enjoy your week and get ready to go for the weekend against Burnley. How are the lads?